myHistro is a very nice timeline tool that you can use. They have a mobile app as well as a web app, which we're going to be using to use DocentEDU directly on top of, and also embed into another page with DocentEDU. And thanks to Mark Rocha, I had never heard of myHistro before, and he asked me about how DocentEDU could work with it. And so here's a video kind of going through those basics. So we're going to start off with this example one. You can create your own or use existing ones other people have made. So it's top 10 geopolitical events in the last decade. And so students can navigate around here. You can have autoplay and add in different things. And I like how they have the Google Maps built in. The way that DocentEDU works with this is that you can't add items to everything. So in this case, if I tried to add an item here, this box won't expand, and so students won't be able to see the question. But there's a couple of spots where we can use it. So let's say if I want to start off with a discussion question, I could add one up here to the description. Now students will see that description there. And if I want to attach them to individual events on this read more page, so this box that pops up so we have more room here, I can then add a question. Questions and stickies and different things like that get added to the bottom of the text. You're not able to embed them within the text on myHistro. But let's say if I wanted to embed this YouTube video about Putin, I'll go ahead and add in a sticky note also, scroll down, and then I'll just paste that in there. And I could add in extra questions so then students can scroll down, see the questions, and anything else that you add in. And so that's one way you can use DocentEDU directly into your myHistro timelines. Another option is if you want to put them into a page. And so in this case, so I've got an article about top 10 global events. These are a different collection of events. So it'd be great with current events. And for myHistro, down here towards the bottom, they have this option of embed with an iframe. What you want to do is you want to click on this customize dimensions and change this one to be 480. And this will give you one that's the right size for the sticky notes, for the default size. So I'm going to copy that code and heading over here, I'm now going to add in a sticky note and we'll paste in that timeline. And now they have a fully interactive timeline here. Now, it's not really going to work to be able to add questions within this timeline once it's embedded, but you could add in questions after this and have something of, say, answer the questions down here, underneath it that relate back to the timeline. You can also embed these into a Google Doc. So I've got a published Google Doc here, and I'm going to go ahead and add in my sticky note for this, and we'll go back and we'll copy this iframe code. I'm going to paste it in. And the reason I'm showing you this one is that what will happen is that myHistro is not a secured website. It's just HTTP, but they don't really show it there. Whereas Google Docs are HTTPS, and that means secure. And so the way that Google Docs work is that by default, it'll block anything that's not secured. So this little shield, nothing showed up here, and this little shield showed up. So I have to click on that and click load unsafe scripts. And the different browsers have their own different versions, way of doing this. So I'll load in DocentEDU again because it kind of reloads the page. And now I'm able to view that myHistro. And there's a couple of other embeds that work this way. So that's just one thing to be aware of if you're going to embed myHistro or other non-secured content within a Google Doc, just because of some of the security issues. But once we've done that, it'll work just fine. Make sure that you kind of tell your students ahead of time or have some sort of note up at the top saying, hey, make sure you click on this little shield right there to load in these different embedded items. And so that is how two different ways that you can use myHistro timelines with DocentEDU.